Hello friends, welcome to the YouTube channel Nitin Chandan Pure Water. This channel is made to discuss about water and wastewater pollution and its treatment methods. In part 1, we will run through the reason for the water contamination, point and non-point sources of its contamination, and health hazards due to the water contamination, especially because of the pathogen. Let's talk about the freshwater contamination. As we all are aware about the presence of plenty of water on Earth's surface. However, there is limited source of fresh water available. It is a basic need that water required for human consumption and uh, and other organisms should be contamination free and non-toxic. Half of the world river are get polluted due to human and animal activity, agriculture and industrialization. The water enter to the river can pollute surrounding ecosystem and become threat to the livelihood and the and human health. So as river flows to the larger areas, larger surroundings, there is a possibility that these whatever the poisons or the pollution get added to the river, it can affect the all the human establishment around it. There is another secret crisis expected to occur, which is because of the invisible pollution of groundwater. As groundwater passes through the rock, it can contain high level of the dissolved salts. However, it's pollution free as comparison to the groundwater. But due to entry of untreated this surface water or polluted water into the ground, it get mixed with the groundwater, and there is a possibility that the toxicity of this groundwater can increase in coming time. Now let's understand about the water quality. When contaminants or the pollutant enter to the freshwater body, it deteriorates water quality. Contaminants is nothing but a constituents that can get added to the water body knowingly or unknowingly. It may get added to any point of the water at any point, like it may get added to the watershed or source or even the during the water supply system. So pollution is the constituent that is the known source that is being added to the freshwater body, for example sewage treatment plant outlet or the industrial plant outlet, so that can get add to the freshwater body. So pollution is nothing but a subset of the contamination. So contamination is the larger aspects because it covers the when water fresh water passes through the larger area, knowingly or unknowingly more contamination get added to the water. Now what is water pollution? When we call it as a water pollution, so any chemical, biological or physical change in water quality and that is harmful to the living organism, it makes the we call it as a water pollution, or also it can be unusable for the agriculture. So in terms of if we go step by step, one by one, the physical change is, as we aware that water is transparent, water has a color, but when there is any addition of the color to water, we can call it as a physical change, or any change of the taste, or increase of the temperature of the water is also called as a physical change. In front of chemical change, water is a polar solvent, and it has a ability to dissolve lot of salts, lot of chemicals, and that increase of the chemical constituents in the water is called as a chemical change. So water has a simple formula like two hydrogen and one oxygen, but increase of the other contamination in the form of metals, in the form of heavy metals or other organics, we can call it as a chemical contamination of the water. And next, going to the biological contamination, as we know, though all the life is born from the water, so water supports all the life system. So as it supports the humankind, human life and other organism, it also supports to the bacteria, viruses, insects and all the life systems. It is run through the water. So the addition of these biological contaminations in the form of bacteria or the viruses, those are those are threat to the human life. Those we called as a biological contaminations, contamination to the water. So now, what is the possibility? What are the possible ways this can get added? This contamination get added to the freshwater body. The huge quantity of pollutants is being added by the more than 8 billions human beings and the animals and their activities to the freshwater body, plants, and also the because of the plants and the animals and their machineries. This get produce a lot of polluted water, a lot of contaminated water. It is being get mixed with the fresh water. Then a limited supply of the fresh water. Obviously, there is a limited supply of the fresh water, and when this get added to the contaminated water get added to the freshwater body, it makes the that whole water get contaminated or not safe for the use. Another thing is that the technological advancement, technological pollutions that has been increasing day by day. There is a lot of research going on the new material finding, new metals, heavy metals, and the improvement of the process, change of the process technologies, and those change of the process and the technologies generates a new pollutants, and these new pollutants also become the part of the slowly though it become part of the freshwater body, and that sometimes it is very difficult to treat such a pollutants, so it remains in freshwater body for longer time. For example, the microplastic, the concern of the microplastic is rising now, because we are using the plastic since long, but slowly those plastic has entered into the water and become the part of the water, and it's very difficult to degrade those microplastic. So now the research and the technologies are going on to address that issue also. So now the type of water pollution. So how the water, what are the types of the pollution? So first is coming the disease causing agent. So what the topmost is the, because whatever is the threat, cause the threat to the human body, that immediate threat to the human body, that comes at the top. So the pathogen is the one of the disease causing agent. It creates it creates disease, infect our body, human body, and that's why that is one of the pollution causing agent. Another comes the organic waste. So organic, it is the waste from the humans and the animals when it enters to the freshwater body without treatment. The organic waste is having the huge ability to absorb the immediately the oxygen from the freshwater body. So it absorbs the dissolved oxygen from the freshwater body, and it makes it deplete the oxygen in that body. So that makes the low level of the oxygen for the organics, sorry, or the organisms or the life available in the aquatic area. So that is one of the agent, that oxygen demanding agent. So the reasons that that's organic immediately depletes the oxygen level in water. Another is the nutrient and the phosphorus. These are the entry. These are the agriculture waste or the fertilizers is the entry or the entry point for this nitrogen phosphorus. When it remains in the water body, freshwater body, it allows the growth of the algal bloom, algae growth. So as we know, that is because of the sunlight and this presence of the nutrient, easily there is a possibility of algae formation, and it makes unsafe for that water for the use. Then sediment and suspended material, so erosion of the erosions and the soil, then the material which enters from the construction sites, so that remains in the suspended form, it does not get dissolved, and it's heavy material which get mixed to the water. And toxic chemicals, the chemical factories like the production of the chemicals, they throw some acids, heavy metals, and the organics into the water body, and it's very quite difficult to treat easily such heavily contaminated water. If it goes to the this freshwater body, it creates a huge toxicity, also human body as well as to the aquatic life. And electric and the nuclear power plants, these actually the power plants, it generates a lot of heat, and hot water is being released into the freshwater body. So it increases the sudden increases the temperature of that area, particular area, and such increase in the that temperature again has a threat to the aquatic life in that particular area. Point and non-point sources of the water pollution. So there are two major sources. Like the point source is the discrete or the isolated source that we can identify that source easily, or that is a known source also we can call it as, because the factory and the sewer pipeline, when it is entering to the freshwater body, that is the known source of the water pollution. Non-point source of water pollution is nothing but in the form of the larger area, and it can cover the larger area. It may be from the cities, it may be from the street, farms, neighborhoods, sites, mines. So all those are the point source, sorry, non-point source of the water pollutions. So this figure clearly indicates the point and the non-point source of the water pollutions. The one side is the factory disposal, sewage treatment plant outlet. That those are the identified sources which is entering to the water body. Non-point sources are there are many non-point sources, and it adds actually more contamination unknowingly to the to the freshwater body. So spillage of the oil from these ships, then acid drainage from the mining industry, then construction site, it adds the eroded soil to the freshwater body, then residential areas that can add oil, grease, chemicals, and from the urban drop-offs, and obviously the fertilizers and the pesticides which is being used in agriculture land. So that also get slowly get added to the freshwater body. So impact of pollution on human health. So the first that is because of the mostly that is the first year we are going to talk about the pathogen and waterborne diseases. So inadequately treated this feedstock or the human waste, animal waste, when it enters to the water body, it allows the pathogen to mix along with that. And this freshwater body, when it enters to the freshwater body, and when this water get consumed by the humans or the animals, it converted into the waterborne diseases. So fecal coliform is one of the bacteria that is the that contaminate the water easily. The other pathogens such as Giardias and the hepatitis A and the typhoid, those are the others pathogens which can contaminate water, and it can convert into the waterborne diseases when it enters to the human body. Pathogen cause serious health problem uh, to the humankind. So currently 1.1 billion people are without safe drinking water. If we go through the this data, and 2.4 billion peoples do not have the sewer or the sanitary facilities. Those are the basic need for the humankind. And these are the situation mostly in the Asian, rural Asians and the African region. And it is estimated that about 5 million peoples die every year because of these waterborne diseases. Now, what are the solution for this? Solution for this is the first and the most important is to treat the sewage properly. So discharge before discharging it to the freshwater body. So remove all the pathogens, take care of that. Then disinfection of the water, because even after the treatment there is a possibility that the these bacteria or the viruses, they can again grow in the stored water. So disinfections of the water is very much important. So before supply to the residential areas, it should be taken care that water is properly disinfected. Then public education and encouragement of the personal hygienic. This is the involvement of the more public as much possible to the to this program. of the clean water supply to the humankind. So involvement of the more and more public, that makes it more friendly. Then government enforcement to the regulations. The government has now started to make it compulsory for the sewage and the for the treatment of the sewage and the industrial wastewater before it enters to the freshwater body. So that has regulations already is being in place, and it is compulsory to use maximum recycle, reuse maximum water as much possible, so that we can decrease the load over central treatment plant. So that is one of the major solutions that can be taken care. Thank you for your attention. In the next session, we are going to discuss about the organic and nutrient pollutions.